Hi there everybody, thanks so much for joining me today as I have made this cute card with the Happiest Day photopolymer stamp set. So I didn't rush to get this set when it first came out. I didn't really like it. It wasn't on my list. True story. And then I saw so many people had made such really cute cards with it that I fell in love and I wanted it as well. And I do really like the sentiments. So this one here, for instance, with its cute and cursive font, you make me feel like glitter in the sun. How gorgeous is that as a sentiment on a card? I would love to receive that on a sentiment in a card. So I've just cut this out and put it onto a panel for the front of this card. I've cut it out at 5 centimeters, but you could make it into whatever size panel that you would like. And I'm going to be adding it in towards the center of the card like that. And I'm just going to be decorating around the edges. So the best part for me to work out where I'm going to be decorating is to use my pencil and just make myself a little line and stencil as to where it's going to go, because there's no point me decorating underneath it. And now I'm going to be using Daffodil Delight and Lemon Lolly to add some details onto this card. So I'm using the darker colour for the full circle that's going onto this stamp. And then I'm going to be stepping this up using the lighter colour with the sort of rays around the sun. Okay, so it looks on the camera, you know, you can't really see it, but in real life, trust me, you can. You'll see a picture at the end of this finished and you'll definitely be able to see it. It must be all the bright light from the actual sun shining through my craft room today, but you can definitely see the outline of that. I'm then using some smoky slate with these stars and confetti type pieces just to add a little bit more detail around as well. And don't forget, when you're doing this, the card might look plain, but keep adding the panel on top so you can see exactly how it will look at the end. All right. I then decided to add a little bit of colour on it because I thought the panel was going to be sitting white on white. So I've grabbed some Pool Party. It's one of my favourite colours, so I love grabbing it for this sort of thing. And I'm using my blending brush and I'm just adding a little hint of it on the outside. Now it looks really messy on the middle, but obviously that's where we're going to be covering it with the panel, so I haven't done that tidily. I have just added the colour around the edge of this panel so that they see a very light blue when it's opened up. Okay, keep going until you get to the level you want. You can go as dark or light as you like. You could also use a different colour as well if you wanted to make it really rainbow and magical. So then I'm going to be stamping my Dragonfly down. I am going to do a couple of that one so that I can pop it around the card, and I'm going to keep the colour scheme the same. So I'm going to be using Pool Party for the top part. I'm using the dark as a shade, and then I'm going to use the light to blend it all in together. Okay, I really like this stamp. It's so clean and so simple. It's really easy to use and just looks really effective. Okay, so once I've put the blue in of the Pool Party, I'm then going to come in with the yellow for the bottom. So I'm going to be using Daffodil Delight light and dark on the bottom as well to create a two-tone effect with the two. And then I'm going to cut these out. So I'm just fussy cutting around. Now you do have to leave a little white halo around this one, because otherwise it doesn't end up with a tail. So do be careful how you cut that tail piece, and just leave yourself a little white gap so that you get the whole tail. And then you can cut this out. My tip for fussy cutting is to use the middle to the bottom of the blade and not use the tip. You can see that I am not cutting down the whole way. I'm not using the tip. If you use the tip, in my opinion, it goes jagged, where it's so much easier here to use the scissors. Keep them in one direction and move the paper around so you're not actually moving your arm each time, which could make it jittery. So hopefully that helps. Okay, and cut those out. Now, I have done a few cards that I've got quite a few of these on and cut them out. And one of the things that I would recommend to you is, if you find a way that you like and you've got some spare time, stamp a load of them. Cut them out, and then when you need to use them, you can just colour them in the colour scheme that you want and add them on. So much more simpler, right? Okay, so now I'm going to be adding some dimensionals onto this panel. I'm going to add quite a few because if it goes in the post, I'm going to want it to stand up and not flatten. So you can't add too many here. Just keep going until you've got the amount that you want. And make sure you cover the edges as well as the middle so that the whole thing stays upright. And then what we're going to do is we're then going to adhere the dragonflies on as well. So I'm doing these part way to the side. Remember where you have a 3D lip, okay? So you can see here I'm just using half a dimensional and I'm sticking it over half of the butterfly that goes onto the back piece, but I'm not sticking it onto the bit that goes on the front piece because obviously the front panel is already up on a dimensional. So it was already that level. Okay, and what's really good about that is it makes it look with the shadow that my dragonfly is actually 3D and flying. So then I'm just going to add a couple of these smoky slate and grey dots, which I think suit the card really, really well. And that is pretty much the card finished. So I'm going to adhere this to a card base. And there we go. I'm telling you, I do really like this set now. I don't know why I didn't like it to start off with, but it's grown on me. I've seen some absolutely gorgeous cards made with it. You only need to pop the stamp set into Google and so many images come up of people using it. And I bought into the hype, got it and don't regret it. If you want it or any of the items I've used on this card, you can get it from my store. It's called Happiest Day. My store is slimandstylish.stampinup.net. Here is a close-up of the card and you can go and check out a little bit more on my Instagram @slimandstylish. Thanks everybody for joining me today and I will see you all again soon. Have a lovely day.